Hi, I'm Rashaad Greene, and in this video, I will be showing you how to take a hand drum pattern and apply it to the drum set in different creative ways. To do this, we will be reviewing a djembe pattern called Jolie and a tar frame drum pattern called Malfouf. I will show these patterns on the actual hand drums first, and then we will explore them on the drum set. First is the djembe pattern, Jolie. So for my first step, I like to take the melody of the pattern and try to put it on the drum set. So the melody will come from the pitches, but not like notes on a piano pitches, more so just highs and lows. So my lows are going to be covered by the bass drum, and my highs are going to be covered by the snare drum, and I'm just going to only use these two instruments to start out. So the Jolie pattern, with just the snare drum and the bass drum, would sound like this. And then from there, my step 2 would be a thing called orchestrating, or just figuring out and exploring different sound combinations still on the vein of high and low. So if I just keep my bass drum for the lows and just move my right hand around the kit, I'll be able to hear different sound options, like this. So after steps 1 and 2 are done, step 3 is really just letting your creative mind work itself out. So from step 2, when I was changing the instrument that I was playing for my high, let's say I just wanted to keep one, and the one that I'll keep will be the snare drum. In this creative process, I can figure out, well, if one hand just does the snare drum, what can my other hand do? Let's just have it play eighth notes on the hi-hat and see what happens. And then, from there, I can explore even further. Maybe I'll do 16th notes instead. Then, another creative thing I like to do is play with accents, especially. Accents will bring out a lot of different melodies that you won't just get from a different instrument on the drum set. So let's stay on the vein of 16th notes, and now I'm going to accent different partials of the 16th note. So that's the pattern by changing different accents, and as you notice, I was opening the hi-hat as well just to emphasize the accent even more, and what that brings about for the overall product of the groove. That's just one way. Now let's move on to the tar drum. We will be exploring the pattern commonly known as Malfouf. This is very popularly played, and you might have already heard this adaptation in American popular music. So for Malfoof, let's just do the same exact steps. Next, let's orchestrate it. Move it around the drum kit. So for the third creative step of this Malfoof adaptation, let's do a different approach. Sometimes I just like to flip the pitches or the melodic pitches. So instead of low, high, high, low, high, high, I'm going to do high, low, low, high, low, low. So just between snare drum and bass drum, this is what that will sound like. And then to do also something different from our previous example, how about instead of keeping my snare as my constant for the further exploration, I'm actually going to keep it on the cymbal and then build around that. And from there, another creative thing we can do is fill it in, fill up the notes. So now I'm just going to have my snare drum fill all the 16th notes in between. That would sound like this. So from there, you can just have fun. Some of you may have noticed that kind of had a songo vibe to it. And you'll find that by taking these patterns and flipping things, changing instrument type, timbres, you'll hear similarities and find your own little revelations, which is great. So that concludes our video on taking hand drum patterns and applying them to the drum set. Remember, the important part of all this is that you're only limited to your creative mind. I showed the how-to, and from here on out, whatever your mind wants to add, take away, and change, that's completely up to you. So challenge yourself to see what you can come up with. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. See you next time.